How do you wind up a bootlegger and end up staying one for so long?
Well, it's just using your skull, I reckon, using your head about it.
Is it a business? Is it a lifestyle?
Well, it always has been. It's a way of living. It used to be a good way of living. I mean, most people that done that done it for a living.
So it wouldn't be a hobby, it'd be a business.
Yeah, it's kind of a business that put food on the table back when I was raised up.
How long have you been around bootlegging at one time or making distilled spirits?
I've been around it ever since I was about 9 years old. I used to carry it for old people, you know, that made it. Carry it, you know, to places if they needed it. Wanted it, sold it out, I'd take it to them.
Now, this is just moonshine.
Yeah, that's just moonshine.
Is it clear? Is it got flavors in it? Fruits?
Yeah, it was just clear then. They didn't change it now.
When did they start changing moonshine?
Well, about up in the 50s.
And why would they do that, you think?
Well, they could make a little more money out of it. Because it wasn't bringing much when it first started. There wasn't no money. They used to have to make it out of molasses and stuff like that to get.
It would put all flavors in it.
Yeah.
I picture moonshine as being quite clear corn liquor.
Yeah, quite clear corn liquor. But they got to putting birch in it. You could skin birch bark and put it in the liquor, and then it'd be a birch flavor.
Was that to make it more drinkable for people who wouldn't otherwise take a shot of plain white lightning?
Right. They liked it better. If there's a little flavor to it, they liked it.
Back in the old days, even go back before your time with stories you heard, what kind of person would drink moonshine versus holding out for a bottle of rum or whiskey or vodka or some other spirit?
I guess they just like moonshine. These people right now set down a bottle of George Dickinson to get us up a moonshine.
Who's attracted to moonshine?
Well, just about 50% of the people.
And you don't think people talk about when they take a sip, they won't fess up that they might find it smooth?
Yeah, oh, they do. They find it smooth. It's according to how you make it. I mean, you can make it till it'll cut your throat.
The perfect moonshine tastes like what?
Well, kind of like, if you do it right, it's kind of like Jack Daniels, you know. Because Jack Daniels just been hit the same thing as the moonshine. They just proofed it down with something.
A lot of people have never had it. They've heard about it. They picture the movies and the jugs and all that.
Yeah, well, when they drink it, it's just that warm feeling they've got, you know. When they drink it, that's where they get hung at.
Is the idea of drinking moonshine becoming less popular or more popular these days?
More popular. More popular. A lot of people are putting them up, you know, and getting the government to let them make it, whatever.
Makes it legal moonshine.
Making legal. Yeah, they're trying to, but a lot of them don't know how, and
but maybe some of them will learn how. Or
they'll learn how, but sometimes it's too late.
What does it do to the idea of buying a quart jar of moonshine that it's legal now? It's always been a little illegal, just a little illegal.
Yeah, but you can, if you get a quart and as long as you can pay taxes, that's the reason you can get it, so you can pay taxes on it, you can make it. Anybody can.
Now, theoretically, if you made a few gallons of moonshine, why wouldn't you just step forward and pay the federal and state excise tax on it?
Be no fun. Be no fun of doing that. That'd put them out of business.
You're saying the customers would demand a low-price spirit.
Yeah.
What would be theoretically a bootlegger's biggest competition? Another bootlegger or the ABC store?
Well, it really don't bother them, because there's a lot of people makes it now, and it don't bother them none. Most of them ain't selling it now just for the money of it. They just like to do it.
Is it enjoyable to make moonshine?
Yeah. Yeah, it's something another to think about. I mean, you have to be pretty good at it. And if you're pretty good at it, you're proud of it.
I've never heard of a moonshiner or a bootlegger going out of business because they make bad moonshine? Maybe there's a reason for that.
Well, they used to be, they'd make them on radiators for a cooling system and everything, and all that stuff went to hurting people, making them sick and all this. But if you do it like it's supposed to be done, it won't hurt nobody.
Do you feel that state and local law enforcement take a whole lot of time to go traipsing around the woods and the mountains looking for stills? Or
You know, people don't tell on you or something or go to griping about it. No, they ain't gonna say nothing. Nobody does.
what would get a bootlegger in trouble?
Well, the people get you in trouble if you're selling that. That's what got me in trouble a long time ago.
A long time ago.
Yeah.
You were selling it.
I was selling it, and then the fella come and bought some. Well, he was a real close friend of mine, and he had the sheriff with him when he come.
Now, when they get you, are they mean to you? Do they throw you on the ground like on TV? Or do they sort of like, all right, you got me, and they tear you still up and tow you in?
No, sir. No, when they got me, they treated me just as good as me and you are right now.
But they caught you.
But they caught me. Yeah, but you know.
Do you think commercially made moonshine that's legal, that's bottled in the ABC store, will take over the moonshine industry, or do you think there'll be an element that will always sell it by the half gallon, gallon, and quart?
Well, I don't believe it'll ever go to half a gallon, but they've already started selling it by the quarts.
What makes a good sip of moonshine?
Run it on corn, cap it with a good malt, and run it right, and a good clean still, a good copper still, or a stainless steel, because stainless steel ain't nothing comes out of it. But run it on stainless steel or something like that, it'll be clear. Keep it clean, and that's what makes a good sip of moonshine.
When you're in the ABC store, you'll see these bourbons aged 7 years, 20 years, 25, 30 years for the really good drink and older. Moonshine is how old when it's really at its best?
Well, just about time it comes out of the still.
So either you've made it smooth or it's not going to be smooth.
That's right. You've got to make it fit smooth.
Where do you see moonshine fitting in this 21st century?
Oh, I believe it'll get a little better. I think it will.
High tech?
Yeah.
Or just old men passing it down to the young men who
Well,
learn a little better and then teach the young kids
Well,
coming through?
that's the old tradition, you know, the way it was. That's the way it's been ever since I was growing up. They just passed it down. That's the way I got started, then carrying it with them. Then the next thing you know, I was into it.
Would they expect you, not the old men that you learned from, would they expect you to make moonshine almost as well as they did? Or would they expect you to learn it and maybe do it a little better because you could build on what they taught you?
That's right. They wanted you to build it right. They wanted it to be that way.
If you're going to tell somebody who wants to get into this theoretically, what would you say would be the number one thing you need to do to be a success and a long-term success at it?
Get the right kind of rig to run it on, copper or stainless steel, like I say, and fix it till it won't hurt nobody. Nothing on it till they get too much of it.
Now, what would be the biggest mistake you can make that would end your dreams if that were such a thing?
Make it on something that'd hurt somebody. I mean, you know.
Like you get lead in it. And
Yeah,
you go
like
blind.
lead or something like that. That's what you have to watch. Cause if they might make some, but it'd be poison, really.
But if you're sneaking around out here buying a quart of moonshine from a bootlegger, how do you know you're getting anything good?
That's a problem. That's your problem. You don't want to just get it everywhere, I don't think. Of course, people want it, they'll get it somewhere. And ever who's got it, they'll buy it.
Cookie, it's a real treat to talk to you.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you coming out of Haywood County to come see us down here.